There are three things that you absolutely have to do anytime that you're returning a seller's call. So we're currently testing a new CRM that records all inbound and outbound calls, and I'm so glad that we caught this yesterday. So this lead came in, and it was kind of your typical kind of dorky senior, laughing at his own jokes, making puns, but honestly sounded like a pretty decent lead. It owned the property for a long time. His wife passed away last year, and he was interested in selling it and requested that somebody follow up with him to answer a few questions before he would book an appointment. I'd seen the initial lead come in, and I knew this was one that we were pretty interested in. The problem was that when he called it back, the guy said we had the wrong number. Our CRM, though, automatically pulls in the number, so we knew this just simply wasn't the case and wasn't possible. So I went back and listened to the phone call from my ISA, which is an inside sales agent whose whole job is to get leads to appointments. When I was listening to his outbound call, I knew exactly what happened immediately.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, can I speak to Walter?
I'm sorry you need to lose his phone number. He doesn't have the phone anymore. I'm getting tired of getting all these calls for him.
Had we not been going through and listening to outbound calls on new leads for our team, we would have totally lost this deal. Now, the reason that's important, I don't know what your marketing costs look like. I work with a lot of investors around the country, and the typical average we're seeing is about $100 per lead. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, but that's about the average. So just imagine over the course of a year how much money it can be costing you if you're losing people at that initial follow-up. You ever call a number back and they tell you you've got the wrong number? Chances are your approach may have just been a little bit off. By listening to both his inbound call and our outbound, we knew we had the right guy. Our guy on our team just used totally the wrong approach. So here's the three things you need to do when you're calling one of these back. For starters, you've got to assume that you've got the right person on the phone. The fastest way to turn off a potential seller is to ask something like, "Is this so-and-so?" You sound immediately like a telemarketer or a bill collector. Second, because all of our calls are handled by our inbound answering service, we remind them of details from that initial call. Hey, you spoke with so-and-so, and they had nothing but incredible things to say about you. They mentioned you're looking to sell the home. The last thing you've got to do is just go for your goal on the call. Is it to follow up on an offer? Hey, were you prepared to accept that offer? Or if it's an appointment, I've got some availability tomorrow when would be a good time to meet. You just got to almost assume the sale. What you don't want to do is wait for them to then take control of the conversation, because at that point, you've lost. It's small mistakes like this that are killing investors' direct-to-seller acquisition strategies. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We've got more content coming at you soon.